wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband?
In July 1981, the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Frances Spencer was televised to a worldwide audience of 750 million people. Andrew, then 21, was his brother's best man, chief supporter, the royal family calls him. Of course, that was the wedding of the future King of England. And Diana was already a queen of sorts, star of England's highest society, so the attention was understandable. But why all the fuss about Andrew and Sarah Ferguson? Well, Andrew Albert Christian Edward was born February 19, 1960, the second son of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. His older sister Anne and brother Charles were properly bemused by his arrival. Andrew was described as an energetic child, full of mischief. His younger brother, Prince Edward, was born in 1964. Royal home movies show Andrew as a Cub Scout. He took parachute training with the Royal Air Force in 1978, and on his first jump, the lines twisted, but he managed a safe landing. He then trained as a helicopter pilot for the Royal Navy, graduated top of his class, and received his wings from his father. But for all of Andrew's accomplishments, what really caught the public's eye was his affair with actress Koo Stark. In 1982, the British press discovered the pair vacationing in the Caribbean. That she had appeared in 2 erotic films was delicious grist for England's tabloids. From then on, the Andrew Watch kept track of royal girlfriends. There was model Katie Rabbit, Carolyn Herbert, a Di lookalike, Broadway star Finola Hughes, Carolyn Seward, a former beauty queen. The list, constantly updated by a watchful British press, goes on and on. But Andrew's antics, as the London papers called them, seemed to endear him to the public. Lately, they've been celebrated by British television.
He caused a kerfuffle by spraying paint on photographers, although he was a keen photographer himself, especially fond of snapping pretty girls.
Well, it's the kind of hobby a young prince can easily afford. But there is that other side to Andrew, and it was brought to the fore in 1982 when the British Navy was sent to defend the Falkland Islands from Argentina. Andrew, along with other Royal Navy helicopter pilots, suddenly found himself in the middle of a fierce sea battle. They performed rescue missions, and the Navy choppers actually acted as decoys in an attempt to ward off deadly Exocet missiles.
Being made to lie down in a ship is the most lonely feeling I think you'll ever get, of being there, lying on the deck, with your hands over there just to protect your face, lying on the deck, waiting for either a bang or the all clear.
After the Falklands victory, Andrew and his crewmates came home to a hero's welcome. When he arrived, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were waiting. Andrew twirled a red rose of victory. The young prince, turned war veteran, was a changed and very popular man. So now, 4 summers later, with Andrew marrying Sarah Ferguson, well, in England, it is the event of the year, and a boost for London's tourist trade. For those who make a living off of royalty, royal marriages can't come too often. Souvenirs aren't high-ticket items, but if the expected hordes spend a few pounds here, a few pence there, then jolly good. Things are already at a feverish pitch over on Fleet Street, home of London's tabloids. They've been drooling all over each other as they pump the gossip machine that is like no other in the world. It's a relentless blitz. Andrew and Sarah's personal styles, private pasts, and current opinions. All kinds of tidbits. How Sarah gets along with Di, her new diet. It's as if the fate of the kingdom was on the line. While press coverage here hasn't equaled that given to Chuck and Di's wedding, it has been getting its share. And if you want the latest, dial up AT&T's Royal Wedding Line. $2 buys 3 minutes of pure Britannia.
Dashing, ebullient, fun-loving Andrew he may be, and is. Quite a lad, this prince of ours, who has now found his English rose called Sarah. But...
There are no buts about it. This time it is the real thing. So who is this lucky young lady? Well, Sarah Ferguson, born October 15th, 1959, is 5 months older than her husband-to-be. She's a commoner, if you can call growing up on a $3 million estate common. When she was a child, her father, Major Ronald Ferguson, became Prince Charles' polo manager. Sarah and Andrew have known each other since childhood. But it was not until last summer, with Princess Di playing matchmaker, that their romance began. The story goes that Di suggested to the Queen that Sarah be invited to Ascot Week, where she was paired with Prince Andrew. This helped give the courtship the royal seal of approval, which British telly duly noted.
She was a close friend and counsellor of the Princess of Wales. She went skiing in Switzerland with Princess Diana and Prince Charles. And she almost held her own with Princess Diana when it came to ski fashion.
It was after that ski trip last winter that British reporters began stalking yet another future princess. And what started Britain's tart tongues wagging was that, as they like to say, Sarah is a girl with experience.
She's traveled, she knows life, she's had boyfriends and serious affairs of the heart.
One of those serious affairs of the heart was with Paddy McNally, a former racing car manager. Another kerfuffle involved Sarah's mother, Susan. She divorced Sarah's father 12 years ago, moved to Argentina, and married polo player Hector Barrantes.
They have a farm and breed horses. She says Prince Andrew and her daughter first met at a polo match. Where else do people meet, she said.
Because Barrantes fought for Argentina in the Falklands War, many people wondered if he'd be invited to the wedding. He was. The official announcement of the wedding came March 19th. That afternoon came Andrew and Sarah's first and only interview together.
I asked Sarah some weeks ago, and Sarah actually said yes, which surprised me. She did say it also, which a little anecdote for you, is that she said if you wake up tomorrow morning, you can tell me it's all a huge joke. I didn't.
Sarah sitting here.
But you started from a meeting at Ascot, and then everything developed from there in a way. When did you both know that it was the real thing?
Again, very difficult to answer. I mean, I think that probably the end of last year, before Christmas, perhaps,
yes.
And then it just sort of carried on from there after Christmas at Sandringham, and then beyond that.
What first impressions did you have of one another then, in that case?
Very good friends.
A, very good friends, and B, well, it was at lunch, wasn't it? That
Yes.
We were made to sit next door to each other at lunch at Ascot.
Yes, and you made me eat chocolate profiteroles, which I didn't want to eat at all.
I then didn't have any, so I got hit. Then it
Very
started
hard.
from there. I think that's probably where it...
I was meant to be on a diet.
And that was the basis of a romance.
Yes.
There are always humble beginnings. It's got to start somewhere.
Could I ask you if you could tell us what you like about each other?
Oh.
Wit? Charm?
Yes, probably.
Yes.
And the red hair.
And the good looks. Sorry.
Yes.
Could we?
I'm watching carefully. Go on.
I'm going to be hit.
Could we perhaps now have a rather more lingering look at the ring? I mean, how did you find time to, or the secrecy, the away from the media-ness to go and buy it?
Well, very fortunately, I didn't actually have to go out and buy it. Somebody very kindly came in with some suggestions, and it was made very kindly by some very nice engineers, I think. I don't think they'd like to be called engineers, but I'm not quite sure what you call jewellery engineers. Jewellers.
Miss Ferguson, how would you describe that lovely ring?
Stunning. Red. I wanted a ruby. I didn't want it. I'm very lucky to have it. But certainly it's a lovely stone, and I've got red hair too.
Again, it's something that we discussed in the last few weeks, and we came to the mutual conclusion that red was probably the best colour for Sarah, and that's how we came to the choice of the ruby. And then the extra bits around the outside, we wanted something that was slightly unconventional, and I think we've got something there.
Yeah, very original. I think, Andrew, actually you designed it, didn't you?
I helped in this design.
What do you mean with sketches and things?
Well, we did sketch some of it, and I found a suggestion in another selection of rings that I was given, and I then asked them to change. I'm not quite sure what the shape of the original that I drew, but they look like rugby balls, little tiny ones, and these are drops rather than rugby balls.
Goodness me, that. A rugby ball around my head.
Can you tell us about the proposal, where and when it took place?
It was some weeks ago, staying privately in Scotland, and I'd go no further than saying that.
Could I ask you then, Miss Ferguson, do you remember what he said?
Absolutely. But I'm not telling you.
Did he go down on one knee in the approved fashion?
No, both. That I will tell you, both.
Yes, both. Both.
And you, of course, very formally asked your prospective father-in-law for Miss Ferguson's hand in marriage.
Yes, that was also fairly nerve-wracking, knowing Major Ronald from a long time ago at the polo. And I asked him this weekend, as well as Her Majesty.
What was the Queen's reaction?
Overjoyed. Very happy, very pleased. And beyond that, I think that what else? I mean, it just is a delighted parent, I think.
As indeed was my father.
There was no phrase using the word settling down when she said congratulations.
How do you mean settling down?
Well, becoming a married man and the responsibilities thereby.
No. I mean, I don't see there's anything settling in it. It's a mighty upheaval for most people, and I think it'll be an upheaval for both of us in terms that we've got to come to terms, A, with life as it will continue.
But we're a good team anyway.
Yes, I think that's the thing, Grace, is the fact that in the last 9 months we've discovered that we work very well together.
We're good friends, good team. Quite happy, very happy.
You think it will be possible to keep on working
Absolutely.
with the pressures that
Absolutely.
tend to apply?
My job is a printing and publishing job. Therefore, I have the freedom to, and since I work for myself, I have the freedom to be able to sort of arrange things around what I do. So I can do a bit of everything, really.
I think it's a great advantage in being a sort of almost self-employed and working for somebody outside the country and running an office over here, in that Sarah's, A, her own boss here, so she can make her own work schedules up to suit herself and to suit, she knows that there are times when she has to go to work, therefore she will go to work.
So when Andrew's away, I will work harder than perhaps when Andrew's here. Right? Right.
Hopefully.
Have you, in the course of this rather last difficult month or so, had advice from the Princess of Wales, who went through much the same thing again?
The Princess of Wales and I are extremely good friends, and we naturally talk about a lot of different subjects.
Like dealing with the media?
Lots of different subjects.
Yes, I think that's probably the best way of answering that. I mean,
We're very, very good friends.
There are so many differing ideas about how to handle yourself that you can't take one person's advice all the time.
Although there is no one better than the Princess of Wales.
Looking to the future a little, you come from, both of you, from fairly large families. Would you like to repeat that pattern? Would you like to have quite a lot of children?
I don't know, really. I mean, what do you say?
What do you say?
I think we haven't actually, I mean, it's something that until we get married that we haven't even thought about. There is an awful lot to think about in the next, whatever it is, that we get married.
Quite fun to have quite a few, wouldn't it?
I agree. I think it'd be quite fun. But again, numbers, size, and all the rest of it is still way in the future, and really is not
yet to be decided.